In this presentation, I share the results of testing two standard Intranet architectures. The architectures are derived from the work of the Customer Care Awards Partnership, from analysis of the votes of employees in top task polls carried out worldwide. Over 60,000 employee votes were analysed, and we, in the partnership, we came to a hypothetical standard intranet architecture. We called it Intranet in a Box. When we did the analysis of all the top task poll results, we found that in each and every one of them we could identify a pattern. And the pattern was for there to be 5 main groups of tasks. A group which we called About Me, a group called Find People, which was all about finding people and collaboration also, a group of tasks around news, current affairs, a group of tasks that were about your organization or your company, and finally a group of tasks that were unique, that we called the core, that were unique to your organization, to its special context, to its competence, what it was, the essence of what it was meant to do. So we published those results. You can see the URL where to get the results appearing below the box. And we started, of course, to try and apply this thinking to our work on intranets, to helping people make intranets from scratch or adjust intranets they already had. And in this practice, in this work, in the various parts of the partnership, 2 basic intranet structures emerged as being used and being successful. For this presentation, we'll call one Model A, and it used this sort of structure. It had the core, the unique set of tasks to an organizational context that I discussed, About Me tasks, which are all about everyday employment type tasks like getting paid or going on holiday, Find People, collaboration type tasks, which were there, and then the About Company, which is here called About Fislex, because that's the name of the fictional company we used in the testing. The other structure that came out of the work of various people in the Customer Care Awards Partnership was, I mean, it was a variant. It had 3 similar elements: the core, the Find People, the About, but it split the About Me type tasks into 2 sets of tasks: the My Employment tasks, getting paid, going on holiday, and then another set of tasks that were in the About Me group, which are all about support and service at work. So say you had a device and you wanted to get support or help with it. So we were very keen to see what would happen with these 2 models if they were sort of tested side by side. We set a simple scenario. We said for the test, we asked people taking the test, we said to them, you need to imagine you work for a fictional company we have called Fislex, who make a range of consumer goods and supply aftercare of these goods to a worldwide customer base. We made simple trees, navigational trees, classification trees for Fislex using both the models. For the core classification, that's the classification that's unique to the company's context, we used products and services. And this is a real example we've seen in a number of architectures of companies, of intranets of companies like our fictional one, Fislex. And then we set about testing the differences in an A/B type test, where 1/2 of our sample is presented with the Model A classification and 1/2 with the Model B classification. We had a multinational audience come to do the testing. Mainly were readers of New Thinking, of Jerry McGovern's column each week, who we asked to volunteer. We used Optimal Workshop, we gave the participants, they came online and they were presented with a set of instructions saying, you'll be asked to find a certain item and presented with a list of links. Click on the links where you think the answer to your task might be. And then people were presented with tasks like this. Find a place to share and work on a document with colleagues. They clicked on Start Task. They were presented with either the A or the B tree structure as a simple navigational tree and asked to pick where they'd, what they would click on to try and get to the answer to this task. And 16 like it. So what happened when we did that? We can take a look now at what the overall results were. The Model A, 81% of people were successful in those 16 tasks. That means that when they were presented with the tree below there, 81% of them were able to select the link in the tree that we had said that would be that would be where we'd place the answer to that task. Model B, also a very high success rate, slightly less, but still a high success rate for this. So we're obviously curious, happy that the success rate is high, but we're curious about these failure rates and what the differences in the models are. We pore over the results and we produce two key overall findings. Firstly, that products and services tasks had a higher failure rate in Model B. In Model A, the About Me class was not as clear for employee service type tasks like find help using your smartphone to get your work emails. I'll explain those findings further. This is what we mean by product and services type tasks. It's finding an up-to-date instruction manual for a customer, checking stock levels of spare part, finding the invoicing address to send to a supplier. And here's what happened in Model A. 88% of people presented with those tasks chose the correct answer in our tree. Here's what happened in Model B. There's a higher failure rate, significantly higher, higher enough for us to be really curious about what went on there. We can take a deeper dive and look at individual task results. Here is a product and services task, find an up-to-date instruction manual. In this type of diagram, we see a representation of where people went for this task in the tree. The top of the tree is home. Circled in green here is one of the choices, products and services. It's circled in green because that's the choice that we said that would be correct for this task. And in Model A, you can see the huge majority of people went to that choice. In Model B, though, we see a different pattern. We can see that some people did indeed go to the answer nominated as correct, products and services, but a significant number of them went to support and service. We call this sort of magnetizing effect a dirty magnet. It's a problem in your architecture if you have one because it draws votes away from a correct choice, from a correct click. So we can also now let's take a look at the other side of the coin, so to speak. Let's see what happens to those About Me, support and service, and my employment tasks. These are these kind of tasks. Find a training course, find out how much you were paid last month, find your appraisal, find help working using your smartphone. How do you claim additional money for traveling? So all this type of tasks. What were the performance levels? 70% success in Model A, but a significant amount of failure, 30%. Model B, lower failure rate, significantly lower failure rate. Again, we can dive in and see, well, what's happening here with those results? Let's take a look at this task, find help using your smartphone to get your work emails. In Model A, in our exploded pie, we can see it's a sort of scattergun. People went all over the place, but not very low success rate. 17% people were drawn to the answer that we wanted them to go to. Model B, though, we can see a much stronger result for this class, support and service. Remember, that was being the dirty magnet in the other example. Now it's really strong in this task. It helps people find the right click. It helps them onwards to solving their task. So we had a bit of a conundrum for round 2. How do we solve those problems? We made some changes in round 1 and round 2. Here you can see the change made in the model A, where we changed find people collaboration to just collaboration. There's probably another presentation about that change. Very interesting patterns of voting around that, which we're very curious about. But for this testing, we want to focus on another change that we made in model B, where we made the same change with find people collaboration, but we changed support and service to support at work. Basically one word change. So what happens with the results? The success rate goes up. Actually for both models, but look at model B, a significant jump in success. So we're obviously curious what's happening. We can look again at our groups of tasks where we'd seen significant difference. About me, support and service, my employment type tasks. Let's see the comparison there. A reminder, that's these type of tasks. And you can see model B performing very, very well here. There aren't hardly any failures at all. So significantly better than model A. So that's good. We've solved one half of the problems with the model in this testing. Let's take a look at my employment tasks. Again, the comparison. Remember, they were failing at these rates in the first round. In the second round, model B, we've almost eliminated the failures. Now for the products and services tasks, finding instruction manuals, stock levels, invoicing address to send to a supplier. Again, particularly in model B, we see a big reduction in the failure rate there to bring it right down to 6%. Again, a deeper dive of the round 2 results, looking at that one task, find an up-to-date instruction manual to send to a customer. Model A performing much as it did before in the first round. Model B, we can see this is the significant one. Products and services nice and strong, but look, we've eliminated the magnet. Support at work is no longer the dirty magnet, doesn't draw votes away. Some conclusions. Both models A and B performed well. That was great. It's very reassuring to see that all that data, all the analysis we did of it stood up very well for both models, really. But model B works better. There's no reason to go back to about me or use any other classification than the one we've derived here as a starting point. Changing one word made a big difference to our results, and that's something that we see in this type of testing, in this type of process, is making a one-word change can make a big difference, and that can be incredibly significant if you're talking about changing top-level classifications for or navigation categories for big groups of tasks. Individual context is still important, but we can now say really that a common language, we think, for intranets is emerging. So, as a starting point in our design projects, we say, why would we call these major classifications anything else than those which we've derived in this kind of testing? As a starting point, of course, we still want to test. So that's about it for this presentation. There's much more to talk about task-based intranets. Please tweet me or email me if you want to know more about our work or you have a question. Thank you very much.